Scrub Island is a five-star island resort located just off the British Virgin Islands, or actually is part of the British Virgin Islands. The resort opened about 12 months ago to great reviews, and it's somewhat unique because it is an island escape, which is totally independent. It has all its own utilities. It's a development in its own right. But it is literally 7 minutes from the mainland in Tortola, so 7 minutes from the airport, so from the main gateway into the British Virgin Islands. The resort initially consisted of a development which has the hotel itself centered around the marina. There are about 50 hotel suites centered around the marina. When OBM International did the master planning of the initial resort, the initial island, we decided to focus the main body of the resort development around the marina, keep the activity, most of the activity around the marina, allowing much of the rest of the island to remain as virgin as possible. So that was one of the key parts of the design approach. It's interesting going back to when OBM International approached the design of the island from the outset. One of the things that we have to deal with generally when we're working at various locations around the globe is that we're privileged to work with these wonderful, beautiful, exotic island locations, as Scrub Island is. Part of that becomes a high level of responsibility, and when you're thinking about how you plan a resort, that was very much a driver behind the whole Scrub Island master plan, in the sense of making sure that there was a high level of respect for the environment. Phase 2 of the resort is the development of the real estate. So OBM International designed the villas. They have a number of 4 and 5 bedroom villas. There's also a number of what they call the ocean villas, which are more directly associated with the hotel side of the island operation. And these are being developed by the developers and sold on to private individuals, and then remain as part of the inventory for the real estate hotel. Phase 2 is complementing the initial phase in delivering a different type of product. The first phase of the development was more the traditional hotel product, albeit some of it was sold off as real estate. But the second phase is really providing the more custom home type of inventory for the island. Custom home in the sense that we have created a set of standard model designs, but there is a level of personalization or customization being allowed for the individual owners. The project is unique in the sense that you're working with an island sitting in the Caribbean Sea. It's not as if you have the infrastructure of any island to work with. It's a totally independent piece of land. And again, working with that, it's virgin territory. There was nothing there. We had a blank piece of slate to work with. So it's trying to create the complete island experience, whilst also allowing for the fact that you have to provide the comforts of everyday life. So there's a lot of infrastructure work in the background that you don't necessarily see. I mean, it's seamless from the guest's point of view, but still you're creating the exotic island paradise. Interestingly, it was mentioned on the Today show a couple of days ago, talking about the Scrub Island as being one of the top 10 island escapes. Again, one of the aspects that was mentioned about that was that Scrub Island was named as being one of the great honeymoon getaways. It brings back sort of anecdotal thoughts of when we were discussing the original design of the island with the developers, and trying to work through aspects of really what drives the island, what drives the charm. The name obviously was an issue. Scrub Island probably is not considered one of the most romantic names, but there's a lot of history to it. It was the British Virgin Islands were the home of the pirates and buccaneers. So throughout the years, the BVI was literally, I guess, the capital of the buccaneers in the Eastern Caribbean. And what they used to do is, when they careen their boats in the shallows of Scrub Island, and scrub the barnacles off the bottom of the boat, hence the name Scrub Island. So it has a very deep historical meaning in the local community, and you have to be very sensitive to that. So I guess nowadays that the only scrub that you'll get over at Scrub Island is in the spa, which would be probably somewhat more aesthetic than the actual scrubbing the barnacles off the bottom of the boat.